What is up, Mets fans? We told you. Don't count us out just yet. I know a lot of you didn't listen yesterday, and I don't blame you. It's hard to listen after a loss. You go through the excruciating pain of watching that game, and then you get to hear us talk about it again. But for those of you who did listen, for those of you who did watch, me and James told you this was going to happen. Just because you lose game one of the series by 10 runs doesn't mean you can't come out in game two, punch the Dodgers in the mouth, and take a win in LA, going back to Citi Field with a chance to win the series at home in front of the fans. 1-1 going back to Citi Field on Wednesday. The boys are pumped. The boys are excited. Shout out to Murphy's again. We were there. We were not able to record the podcast there. Too close to the time of the Jets game. Too close. We didn't want to interfere with the vibes of the bar. It was switching on over. But shout out to Murphy's as always. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you follow us on all our social media at Mets'd on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to the Mets'd Podcast YouTube channel if you want to see the video version of this. And if you are listening, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Overcast, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. We really do appreciate it all. James, we've had a couple hours since the game ended. I left my camera and microphone and tripod in an Uber, and the guy is currently driving it back, so I'm going to leave at some point to go pick that up for my guy. How are you feeling? Because I've been in a blender since this game ended.
I feel so good. Again, shout out to everybody that tuned in yesterday, because while it was a hard episode, I'm sure to listen to, because a lot of people felt like the sky was falling and the Mets played like dog shit on Sunday, Mark and I were spitting. Mark actually directly nailed the final score of the game being 6-3. He said it during the recording.
7-3, but yeah.
Oh, 7-3. Yeah, I forgot. Because Pete Alonso scores a run, speed demon. But I feel really good. And it came to something that has happened a few times this postseason. Happened, again, last Sunday against the Phillies. Same thing happened. Happened game 2 against the Brewers. Happened the first 6 innings of the game against the Braves in that fateful Monday afternoon. Why count this team out? How much of this team do you have to see before you actually start to believe in them and what they're capable of? Because the Mets showed up in this game on Monday afternoon, 4 o'clock, 1 p.m. local. The upper deck of Dodger Stadium was maybe half full on a great beach day in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
Francisco Lindor steps up to the plate, first batter of the game, fucking home run. That's it. And we didn't trail for a second in the game. Like, that's just it. That's what we can do. We were up 6-0 by the end of the second inning. Got sweaty from there. You guys know we're going to talk about all of it for you. But we won a game wall-to-wall against a team that was ordained as the greatest team since sliced bread the day before. A team that the MLB official Twitter said was one win closer to the World Series. We belong on the field with these guys. I think there's a lot of days we're going to play this Dodgers team. We're going to be objectively better. There was no reason to ever count this team out, and there's no reason to count them out going forward. And now this Mets-Dodgers series is a best-of-5 because it's 1-1, and we have 3 games at home, and they have 2. We're in the driver's seat right now, guys. We're ready to fucking play.
Yeah, no, it was awesome to come out the way that we did. Set the tone with our MVP. Maybe should be the MVP because he actually plays the field. Does a little bit of impact if his bat's not working. He came out and set the tone immediately. I was tweeting about it before the game. Extremely optimistic as always. Shaved the beard, of course, whatever you'd call that beard. I shaved the hairs that were on my face.
The scruff.
I'm a new man. I feel a whole lot better. I got to tell you, it's not itchy anymore. It's great. But for Lindor to take the lead early, like I was begging for them, you had to jump on this bullpen game early because you have the opportunity then to throw them in a bit of a tizzy. They thought Landon Knack was going to go 3, 4, 5 innings in this game with a lead, or at least the game close, and that wasn't the case. You walk Lindor hits that home run. You then intentionally walk Lindor to load the bases for Mark Vientos, who then steps up and hits that grand slam. And you saw after the game, talking to Tom Verducci, you saw the clip on Twitter from Diana and everybody where you see Vientos, he's put on the sunglasses like, oh, you walked him? Bet. Let's fucking go. And he told Tom Verducci after the game, when they walked Lindor, he said, all right, I took that personally. And he should. I love that. That's the kind of chip on our shoulder that this Mets team has been missing the last few years. And I know we've said it through Jesse Winker, through Mark Vientos, through Francisco Alvarez. Like, whatever the swag is that has come with this team this season has completely changed the outlook. And for Vientos to hit that grand slam, what was it, a 3-2 pitch, I think, after seeing 11 sliders, I think, in 12 pitches or whatever it was, Landon Knack was throwing him, 8 and 9. To go with that fastball right down the dick of the plate, he was ready for it. We know his power is prolific, especially to the right center field gap, and he smoked it. Huge home run, put us ahead nice and early, 6-0. And I know the offense cooled off, but they really didn't look back for them. When they had opportunities to score more runs, would have been nice. But setting the tone early put the Dodgers up against the wall, and it took the crowd out of the game because there wasn't much of a crowd, as we know. It takes a while for LA to fill up anyway because the traffic's crazy and everybody's late, and they're running on Hollywood time out there. But to take them out early was incredible. I couldn't have asked for a better start to this game.
I think something super cool about both those home runs, like you talked about with Vientos, they both came on 3-2 pitches, and both of them came after foul ball after foul ball. Lindor fouled off 3 2-strike pitches before he finally got a nice cutter, belt high from Ryan Brazier. He parked over the stands, and Murphy's erupted after that. And then Vientos, you talked about, it was a 9-pitch at bat where he saw slider after slider after slider. Landon Knack threw him one fastball, and that at bat, 1-2 fastball high at his eyes. And he actually fouled it off. And because the fact that he got to that pitch at his eyes, that was a nice little 96-mile-an-hour fastball. And he was like, oh, damn. And it was slider, 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 slider. And in 3-2, we felt the pitch today. Shout out Lance Brozdowski. And he got the one fastball, and he obliterated it. And it would have been nice for the Mets to stomp on the throats a little bit more, but you still can't be upset about a win. A win's a win. A win's always a win. So cool to see the fight in these at bats. You saw Jesse Winker have a really, really good at bat in the second inning too to set up the whole rally. You saw Tyrone Taylor get a really nice two strike double, also to drive in a run. Unsung hero of this team, Tyrone Taylor. Starling Marte, fifth hitter extraordinaire, starts off the rally. Special shout out to Starling Marte right now, just before we really get into nitty gritty. On base 3 times in this game, twice to lead off innings. Got his first extra base hit of the month. Shout out me for that one. Exactly 1 month. I told you guys in the podcast yesterday, it's been a month since he had an extra base hit. Did it instantly. Incredible showing up and down this lineup by the Mets.
The jinxes from you were incredible too, because you said, I don't love Francisco Lindor in a bullpen game because he's someone who gets better and better as he sees more and more of the pitcher. He's a guy that you like to get a little more experience. Almost the next pitch was the home run off of Ryan Brazier. I mean, James, when we say things and we actually feel it, because sometimes I think we got to play into the jinx a little bit every once in a while, but when it's like a true statement that's just like from the heart, from the gut, it always ends up working. It's crazy.
Dude, and I still shout out this lineup, man. Nimmo and Alvarez were the only guys that didn't get a hit. Alvarez, actually, every single member of the starting 9 reached base.
And we kind of might know why Nimmo's struggling a little bit right now.
Yeah, he told I think it was Martino or DeComo or someone that he is dealing with plantar fasciitis. So I shout out anyone dealing with plantar fasciitis. My sister is dealing with plantar fasciitis right now. Not a fun injury. So you saw Nimmo literally limping around the outfield towards the end of that game. Made an amazing catch on the warning track in the 7th or the 8th inning, reaching back. A catch that probably could have changed the end of this game. But just 1 through 9 after the worst game in a couple of weeks on Sunday night. Everyone coming up, taking good at bats. And like we said, pushing this Dodgers team in a bullpen game to the brink, because when Landon Knack was the guy that wound up getting crushed, he was the one that they were expecting to be their bulk guy. Brent Honeywell wound up filling that role in and being their bulk guy really well. Now he's not going to be able to pitch for the next 3 days. I'm sure they're okay with that. He wound up throwing 60 pitches in this game, but the fact that we were able to crush Knack, we got the run off Brazier, and then we got the run against Edgardo Henriquez. I can't even say his name right now, but he throws 102 miles an hour. That got those BBs.
That slider's gross.
Very cool that we got to split these games in LA, and we didn't even get to see their top 2 relievers in Blake Trinan and Michael Kopech. So kind of more of the same with Dave Roberts, where he kind of gets inside of his own head a little bit too much in these playoff series, tries to be a little too perfect, like intentionally walking Francisco Lindor in the second inning to load the bases for Mark Vientos, who's been the hottest hitter on planet Earth over the last 3 weeks, I guess, besides Juan Soto and I guess Shohei Ohtani. But I love that we just stepped on the field with these guys. There was no fear again from anybody, and we an understanding that you belong with them still.
Yeah, and totally started on the mound too, because after we got those runs, Sean Manaea came out and gave us shutdown innings, which we massively needed. We know how big a shutdown inning is in a baseball game, to get runs, throw up a 0, throw up a low number, and that's what Sean Manaea did. Remember when the Dodgers owned him? Remember how everybody and their fucking mother were tweeting about Sean Manaea has a career 7 ERA against the Dodgers? Who fucking cares? Shit. No one gives a shit. One, Sean Manaea is a different pitcher than he was. We know this because that's all they talked about on the broadcast today, was how different Sean Manaea was. And credit to them. I appreciate that. Also, shout out Joe Davis, really doing his best on those New York Mets home run calls. He was like, oh, Lindor home run. Darn, it's a shame that we're getting the
grand slam.
Yeah, it's a shame we're getting the Dodgers announcer for this, but whatever.
Yeah, then Mark Vientos hits into a double play in like the 5th inning when the game is still 6-0, and he's like, a double play turned by the Dodgers infield, coming back to the plate now. But I got some stats. I went through a lot of the old box scores, the old Sean Manaea matchups with the Dodgers, because I wanted to see it today. I didn't want to say it yesterday because I didn't want to jinx anything.
Of course,
because there's always a chance this Dodgers lineup is incredible. They could blow up any pitcher in any given day. That's what I'm saying. But going back to the Sean Manaea box scores against the Dodgers. So the first time Sean Manaea faced the Dodgers was April 10th, 2018.
I was in college.
Yeah, right. In college. That's a long time ago right now. So can I tell you about some of the oh no, I have the wrong box score up here. Tell you about some of the lineup of this Dodgers team that day. So
sure.
Mark, guess Guess who was hitting leadoff for the Dodgers that day? April 10th, 2018.
April 10th, 2018. Chris Taylor?
Nailed it. Chris Taylor hit leadoff.
Wow, that's really good. Okay.
Guess who hit third?
Guess who hit third for the Dodgers in 2018?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Max Muncy.
No, I don't even think Max Muncy was around yet.
Oh, yeah, no, he wasn't yet. I think that might have been the first or second year.
No, this was Yasiel Puig.
Whoa.
Yeah, to think about Matt Kemp hit fifth. Chase Utley pinch hit for Matt Kemp in this game.
Wow.
Logan Forsythe started at third base. And then this
Whoa.
is even a crazier box score from later that year. This is August 2018. I'll give you 1,000 guesses for who hit leadoff for the Dodgers against Sean Manaea and the Oakland Athletics on August 7th, 2018. 1,000 guesses. You can start now.
Alexi Amarista.
No, I think he was on the roster, though.
Really?
Yeah, I'm looking around.
Okay. What position? Give me a position.
Oh, here's the thing. You want to know about this?
Yes.
Max Muncy was on the A's.
There you go.
There
he was
you go.
his teammate.
That's really funny. But give me 3 more guesses for who the Dodgers leadoff hitter was against Sean Manaea on August 7th, 2018.
AJ Ellis.
No, I mean,
Okay.
close enough. Dodgers.
Yeah. Give me a position. That'll be my last guess.
Second base.
Second base.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not even worried about the position.
Second base for the Dodgers in 2018. Let's go with Everett Cabrera.
No, Brian Dozier.
Brian Dozier. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And again, all this bad ERA for Sean Manaea against the Dodgers came in a 3-month stretch or 5-month stretch, basically the whole 2022 season. He pitched 12 2/3 innings, and he allowed 22 earned runs.
And I do believe Sean Manaea admitted to being lazy and fat on the Padres and not really giving a shit about being there.
I think he admitted to being lazy. I don't think he admitted to being fat. I think being fat is just something you could have seen with Sean Manaea.
Fair.
But Sean Manaea, not fat anymore. Sean Manaea dropped that arm slot down even lower than he had before. He was amazing. People comparing him to Chris Sale left and right. It's amazing to think about. I think Petriello tweeted this. How many pitchers this offseason lefties are just going to drop that arm slot down, just see if they can get in the heads of hitters like this? Because he made Shohei Ohtani look so bad.
Some of his
so
worst
many
at-bats
times.
all year.
The first 2 at-bats were 6 pitches, 2 strikeouts, 1 looking and 1 with a sword. It was disgusting what Sean Manaea was doing to Shohei Ohtani in this game. And it was all just the same as all year. The 2-seamers and the sweepers over and over again. Up, down, up, down, up, down. They had no answer for it.
It reminds me of when Jake Arrieta went on his run with the Cubs and he won the Cy Young and everybody started throwing across their body from the right side. You cross over your leg in front of you.
Cutters.
And you step across and you throw this way. And that's kind of what Manaea is doing. And that's what Chris Sale has always done his entire career. You obviously need to have more of the build like Chris Sale, Sean Manaea. Those guys are really tall. You can't just do that if you're a short little lefty. But you are right. You're going to see more people do this. And it's working. It's working really well. Manaea, I know, scuffled a little bit late in the start. But really for the
just
first
because of the error.
Yeah, just because of the air, I guess that is true. And some walks. But
yeah,
the first 5 innings of this game were just pure domination.
No, pure domination. And we're going to talk more about pure domination. We're going to get to Mark Vientos, the rest of this team. But first, we got to give you guys a word from the sponsor of this episode, Orgain.
We're looking for real ways to boost our nutrition and just found a protein shake that actually tastes amazing. It's called Orgain, and it's been a game changer.
Orgain is the leader in real protein-powered nutrition that understands that being good for you doesn't have to taste bad. It's the organic ingredients we're looking for, but I don't want a grainy battle with my taste buds every day. You know what I'm saying? It's giving smooth milkshake vibes. That's Orgain, and they have a brand new 30-gram complete protein shake that offers protein-packed real nutrition designed to satisfy your cravings without all the sugar.
It gives me energy, provides muscle support, and helps manage hunger too. It's also made without soy ingredients and made with no artificial flavors or sweeteners.
Orgain 30-gram protein shakes are available at Orgain.com. If you want to get in on the delicious protein-packed nutrition today, head to Orgain.com/foul and use the code FOUL for 20% off your order. Once again, that's Orgain.com/foul for 20% off. And make sure you use promo code FOUL so they know FT sent you.
Whew, I'm telling you, it just
Feels good.
It brings a smile to my face to win that game. We really needed it. I know we were like very positive yesterday, but we both agreed that if you lost today's game, that's when you start to get a little bit of a different feel, down 2-0. But being able to split in LA is so big.
Yeah, it feels different, but again, we still wouldn't have been dead. Like I can't stress it enough.
Of course, yeah.
It's the most bullshit old adage ever with a playoff series, but nothing starts with the home team loses a game. It just doesn't. Series doesn't start then. And just talk about Sean Manaea for one more second. It did stink a little bit that, again, the Mets couldn't really step on a throat because there was an opportunity where we had guys on base in the 5th inning. We had guys on base in the 4th inning. We had guys on base in the 3rd inning. Like, it never stopped against this Dodgers bullpen game. So you either could have been able, like, to push this lead out to, like, 10 runs and given Sean Manaea a nice, easy day off. You saw him, like, grooving 88, 89 just to try and, like, kind of throw it in there, keep the game moving along. But also there was a chance where he could have just given a lot of length, and you could have kind of saved the entire bullpen this game before going home. But in that 6th inning when he came back out, walks Mookie Betts after getting ahead 0-2. Then he walks Teoscar Hernandez on 5 pitches, many of them not close. And then Freddie Freeman hits a sharp ground ball that bounces off the pitcher's mound, because the only thing Freddie Freeman gets up and lifts to do is somehow
kill the Mets.
A thorn in the Mets side. The first bad play Jose Iglesias made in the field all year. So then it's bases loaded, nobody out. Like, all right, now it's actually time to take him out. And then Mets bullpen did what they had to do. They got through this game. It felt a lot like Game 3 last series against the Phillies, the one we were at, and we were setting up the third base line, where you would have been much happier if you were winning by more runs, but the bullpen did just enough to win. Strange box score for the Mets bullpen, where everyone threw exactly an inning in the third. Don't see that very often ever. Yeah, Maton inning in the third, 26 pitches. Stanek inning in the third, 26 pitches. Díaz inning in the third, 29 pitches.
Wow,
Bizarre.
Also very similar. Oh, my God.
Yeah, very similar for all of them. But, again, it all works out. Every moment got a little sweatier than it had to. Phil Maton, I can't believe he got the double play to get out of the inning. Ryne Stanek looked really good. Then he lost the strike zone. Edwin Díaz lost the strike zone, then looked really good. But, again, it all just winds up rounding into form. And I wonder if there's other teams that play games that are winning by, like, 5, 6 runs that feel as nervous as the Mets do when they are.
No. There's no other fan base that can feel this way. Maybe I think we said this before. Maybe the White Sox, because they just were losing every single game this year. But it's Maton is for sure out of the circle of trust. I think we've known this now. He cannot come in a close game. I think in the moment we're like, why is he going to Maton? There's kind of nobody else. You have to pitch him at some point. I think if he's going to be on this bullpen, and with a 6-run lead, you should feel good enough that he comes in there. And the job could have been worse. That double play was huge. Max Muncy with a very professional slide. I was giving a lot of props to that on the slide to break up the double play. That was good baseball. That's what people thought Chase Utley's slide looked like. That's what people thought Rhys Hoskins slid like. Not even close. Good baseball. Good slide all around. You clap it up for that. Love good baseball. Pete Alonso with a fantastic stretch after missing a ground ball that was really easy. And Pete does that. But you know what? Pete stepped up later in the game to jump ahead too, to give us that 7th run. Getting on base in the 9th inning. Stealing second base, just completely catching the Dodgers sleeping, because big Pete Alonso, you don't think he's going to steal, stole second base, manufactured a run when they got that hit up the middle, scoring with a beautiful slide home to get past the tag of Will Smith. Like, those are the little things that winning teams do. And that was like, if you were a Mets fan that still weren't fully buying in yet, which I don't know where you're at still, but like, I think there are people who are still like, I don't know what's going on. It's the Dodgers. Like, that's stuff that winning baseball teams do. They came ready to play today. It was amazing. Ooh, the lift guy's calling me. Hold on, I'm going to mute. You talk, James.
All right, you talk. Mark going to go get the lift, so it's going to be a few minutes here. Just that Pete Alonso situation was amazing, because the Mets, again, it's not like they needed a run. The Dodgers got stuck at 3. This game never got within 3 runs, so it's crazy that we talked about how stressed we actually were going through this. But getting a run to just put out the fire a little bit, throw some water on this was amazing. You guys are looking at me now. Mark is just literally gone. He's going downstairs to get the lift guy. But another moment I think was great in this game. I think I'm going to wait for Mark to get back so we could throw full flowers on top of Mark Vientos, because he deserves all of them. He's becoming a legitimate superstar before our eyes. He's becoming a person who's jumped onto this main stage of the national sports conversation in this country, which is crazy to think about. Ryne Stanek came into this game with 1 out in the 7th inning and a guy on first base. In a 3-run game with Mookie Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, and Freddie Freeman due about the plate. And Ryne Stanek is someone that, if you guys are listening to this podcast, I talk about it all the time now. I was begging for the Mets to sign Ryne Stanek. He throws 100 miles an hour. He's got a great slider, a great splitter to get guys from both sides of the plate. He's a proven veteran who's gotten big outs in many, many postseasons, has multiple World Series rings, has been in this before. Him coming in the game for Phil Maton with Mookie Betts up, Teoscar Hernandez on deck, in a 3-run game with a tying run on deck, to come in and strike out Mookie Betts on 3 pitches. 2 98-mile-an-hour fastballs and 90-mile-an-hour splitter. That was just a miss, but Mookie Betts wound up swinging through because of 90-mile-an-hour splitter. And then immediately getting Teoscar Hernandez to take a strike looking, and then get him to ground out and a ground ball. This is the kind of shit that happens for a team that exceeds expectations in the playoffs, especially exceeds expectations in terms of a bullpen. And I think as much as we still don't have a lot of faith in the Mets bullpen right now, I think you'd be crazy to be like, this Mets bullpen is super, super trustworthy. Ryne Stanek becoming a guy that we can now trust and be someone that's fully inside the circle of trust, someone that we're fully comfortable giving the ball in the 7th, 8th inning against the best hitters in the other team's lineup. that changes everything about the perspective of where this team is, where the team can go, and where we think this team hopefully will be 2 weeks from now. Because he is like he has become a stopper, a fireman, everything we ever needed. Literally one more guy to step up and do. He's become that guy. And now we have a triple, not a triple. I'm not gonna call it a 3-headed monster because it's still not like that scary. But we have now 3 trustworthy relievers at the end of a game that all throw gas between Reed Garrett, Ryne Stanek, and Edwin Díaz, who can go up against a lot of the other late inning relievers that the other teams left in the playoffs have. Like, you don't feel like you're really outmatched if you have those 3 guys flamethrowing at the end of a game, as long as they're finding the strike zone. And Mets pitching didn't find the strike zone as much as they should have today. We walked 7 guys. Not a very good situation there. But the fact that he has stepped up and Reed Garrett stepped up, and Edwin Díaz, for some reason, he has to walk 2 guys or put 2 guys on base before he remembers, shout out Diana for this one, that he can throw 100 miles an hour and blow by everybody. Because after he walked Shohei Ohtani in that 9th inning, and then he went to 1-1 on Mookie Betts. It was 3 fastballs to get out Betts, strike him out swinging. Then it was 6 fastballs to get Teoscar Hernandez swinging. And then it was 4 fastballs and a final pitch slider to get Freddie Freeman out. So the reemergence of Edwin Díaz, because after watching his last 2 outings, besides the first 2 guys that reached base in those fateful innings, and then the Ryne Stanek stepping up and what Reed Garrett's done for the past month or so, there's a confidence I have in the, again, these could be famous last words, but there's a confidence I have in this late inning of the Mets bullpen I don't think I had 2 weeks ago. I think that's a huge deal for this team going further than they are right now.
We got it. We got the bag back. Shout out Yency. He's a legend. What a dude.
Shout out Yency. I just went like 4 straight minutes talking about basically Ryne Stanek and like what he's meant to the back end of this bullpen.
Stanek at the disco, man. Sometimes what a blessing it is to know ball like we do.
Crazy. Imagine Phil Maton, bad. Ryne Stanek, good. Told you guys this 10 months ago.
Yeah, no, it was phenomenal to see Ryne Stanek pitch like he did. Again, got a little bit hairy. Edwin Díaz came in, took him 15 pitches to realize that he could throw 100 miles an hour. Is that exactly what you said?
Basically all of it, yeah.
You're the best. Diana. You're the best. Shout out Diana. Shout out Yency, my Lyft driver. Appreciate you.
Shout out Yency. Shout out Diana. And I think we should talk for a little bit about how good Mark Vientos is.
So
how
good.
Incredibly amazing it is to have this guy in this team and what he's done. His emergence, changing the entire direction of the franchise, our lives, our emotions, our mental states. Like, he came out of fucking nowhere this postseason, got the stats right here. 378, 1,086 OPS, 14 hits, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. This is one of the most incredible postseason runs I can remember any player in recent memory having. He's doing it for our favorite team as a 24-year-old.
Yeah, there's a guy who does it every year, and right now it's Mark Vientos.
Yes, he's the playoff player right now in baseball.
Yeah,
it's him and Soto.
Could you imagine saying that in spring training? You got JD Martinez. Vientos got sent down, was not happy.
JD Martinez didn't even have a bat in the series.
So Mark Vientos is playing over him. Like, even if you want to go there, like it's crazy because we talked about all year long, and we were Brett Beatty guys. We openly said Brett Beatty over Mark Vientos to start the year, and there were concerns with Vientos' game, but he's changed everything. He can hit the fastball now. He's got so much better plate discipline. Like, he's vastly improved as a player. Shout out JD Martinez. Shout out Carlos Beltran. Shout out Mets hitting development. They clearly made enough changes.
Shout out Francisco Lindor.
Shout out Francisco Lindor. They've made all the changes to make him into a good player because the exit velos were always there. We saw him take BP. He generates crazy backspin on the ball. It carries like crazy. So for him to finally put it all together, and you go back to that walk-off home run against the St. Louis Cardinals where he let out that cathartic scream running around the bases, as if exercising all the demons and anger that he's had over the past couple of years of not really getting what he felt was a true shot. He's taken over that third base position. And just, again, going back to what I said, we were like, if we can get an average third baseman, this team can make some noise. And what do you know? We've got a well above average third baseman, one of the better hitting third basemen in the league right now. And this Mets team is on a possible World Series run right now. They're 3 wins away from winning the National League pennant.
Even apart from the grand slam, there were 2 other hard hit balls. Every single ball he put, all of them were at least over 102 miles an hour. He had another hit. Like, every single at bat's competitive. You could feel how careful the other pitchers are with him. And he did start that double play, bobble the ball a little bit. He likes to flip the ball up in the air. He's a little zesty with it, but yeah, I don't like that. Still, the Mark Vientos defense is still a work in progress. But I said it before, I'll say it again. Up and down this line, if the at-bats were so good. And in a bullpen game, I said this to you guys yesterday, you have to take every single at-bat so seriously because you're basically never going to see a pitcher twice. You maybe see one pitcher twice the whole game. And that guy wound up being Brent fucking Honeywell, old man Brent,
Yeah.
and he actually looked great. He kind of did hype this Dodgers team up for the comeback they eventually went on.
Doesn't follow me on Instagram anymore.
Oh, okay. Fuck Brent
Yeah.
Honeywell. I love Brent Honeywell. The story is still great, but I want to eviscerate him this series. But again, up and down this lineup. Nimmo's the only guy who really didn't have a good game. We know he's dealing with the plantar fasciitis. Pete had the huge walk and then scored the run late. Starling Marte, I said it before, on base 3 times with 3 hits. Jesse
Nobody
Winker
else I want hitting in the 5-hole.
Jesse Winker on base 3 times, score the run. Jose Iglesias finally got a hit, but I think the Jose Iglesias murmurs are starting to come forward a little bit.
Yeah,
Tyron Taylor, the big RBI. Yeah, and then but Francisco Alvarez is the one guy we can point to right now saying he's not playing well. It's very clear the mechanics are gone again. He's lost the power. He's kind of lost the discipline a bit. He did get the 1 walk on a pitch clock violation, which was great because he still got the 3 balls. He could make that happen, but he's the one guy where there were a lot of chances to break this open. Shout out Bob Nightingale for calling him Wilson Alvarez. Confusing him with Wilson Ramos, Mets catcher from 5 years ago. But there's something really good happening with this Mets lineup. They've been carrying us, and they carried us again.
Wilson Alvarez was actually a former major leaguer, too, had a 14-year career spanning from 1989 to 2005 as a pitcher. 102-92 record, 3.96 ERA. So Wilson Alvarez exists, just not this guy.
Not this guy. One more quick break for you guys, then we're going to wrap up Game 2 and start to preview Game 3.
Let's talk about Game 3 back in Citi Field Wednesday night, 8 o'clock start because the West Coast and whatever's going on there. It's fine. I'm cool with it. I love a little playoff baseball. The weather in New York is getting a little bit chilly, and these prissy little LA boys, they're not going to be ready for this. Freddie Freeman playing in Atlanta his entire career. Shohei Ohtani's never left the state of California. Will Smith, I don't know, he's from Louisville. Maybe he's felt the cold. I'm not sure. But they've been playing in this beautiful LA weather. The only guy with a little experience in the cold is Mookie Betts right now. But I love this weather. I'm so happy I got to throw on a hooded sweatshirt underneath the jersey today. Like this is fall. This is postseason baseball. We're gonna see some breath coming out of these players on the field. This is stuff you live for. And you got a chance to take the lead Game 3 against the Dodgers. Who's on the mound for us, James? Who's on the mound for the Dodgers?
We're going to have Luis Severino, and they're going to have Walker Buehler. So this is precisely a 2019 ace-off in the flesh, right? 2018 ace-off ready to go. I'm fucking ready. I'm going to be in the ballpark. I think you're going to be in the ballpark.
I'll be there.
I'm incensed ready for this game. Tomorrow's not even going to feel real. I guess today when you guys are listening to this. Like I'm going to have a day, and I think you and I both talked about this, where I'm not going to think about baseball.
No baseball.
I'm not even going to think about sports. I'm going to go to the city. I'm going to have a meal. I'm going to see a show. Like it's going to be a day of fine culture. And then the second the alarm clock goes off on Wednesday morning, it's going to be animalistic.
Kill.
Because I want to get into Citi Field, and I want to kill the head so the body dies. Because there's a chance that we can hit Walker Buehler.
There's definitely a chance.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice. But Walker Buehler is, while he's not the same pitcher he was a few years ago, in his mind, he believes he's the same pitcher from a few years ago, where he used to be able to gas these 98, 99-mile-an-hour fastballs up in the zone with the great backspin, 20 inches, 18 inches of IVB. And he still gets that once in a while on them. Still gets average about 17, but they kind of sit 94, 95 now. And he will throw them and throw them and throw them. In his last start against the Padres, last game the Padres won in that series, he got mauled, bombarded. He'll throw the ball high in the zone. There's a lot of opportunity to hit the ball far. That's going to help him failing in the cold in Citi Field. And I think there's a reason the Dodgers did the bullpen game here in LA and then left Buehler for Citi Field because they knew it was going to be a cold night. Harder to get the ball out of the ballpark. Very easy to get the ball out of the ballpark today in Dodger Stadium, as you guys saw that. But this is a chance where this Mets lineup, like I've been lauding them over and over again, you can jump on a guy who is probably like a bit of a wounded calf right now, and you could go for the jugular.
Yeah, and there's so much opportunity. It would mean so much to be able to go for the jugular on Walker Buehler, just to force them into a little bit of chaos, push their backs up against the wall again, something that no team particularly likes to feel, but especially the Dodgers. We know that, back up against the wall. They've never really stepped up to the occasion in the past. So for us, it is imperative, again, like we did in Game 2, to get out early, to have good swings early. Knock Walker Buehler out of the game with your bats, not with patience like we saw in Game 1 with Jack Flaherty. A little too much patience. Today they were aggressive, and what do you know? It worked. Jump on the pitches, hit them hard like you should. There's no reason they shouldn't be able to hit Walker Buehler. He might pitch well. That's always a possibility. This is a postseason. Everybody steps up. He wants to win just as much as the Mets. But based on what we've seen, the Mets have the opportunity to put a hurting on Walker Buehler. I love the wounded calf analogy. You got to kill him.
And I think there's another part of this too about the fact that now this series changes tone a little bit because there's going to be 3 games in 3 days. And that's going to tax both these teams' bullpens a lot, especially the Dodgers because they just did this bullpen game here, the game the Mets just won. And it didn't really tax them a lot, but they're going to be missing their 2 long men probably at least until Thursday the earliest because Landon threw 55 pitches and Brent Hanningwell threw 57 pitches. Both those happened on Monday. I would think they need at least 3 days of rest before they can pitch again.
I'm going to tell you something the Dodgers are going to do. Brent Honeywell is going to hit the playoff IL. They're going to get somebody else on the roster.
Yeah, it's a good point. They are definitely going to do that because besides those guys now, you're looking at the rest of their roster being Kopech, Evan Phillips, Blake Trinan. That's the triumvirate in the back of the bullpen. Brazier's going to be available. Yeah, Evan Phillips is fantastic too. He's really good. But they went through these 2 games and didn't touch either of them, which again, interesting from the perspective of Dave Roberts because you just went through the 2 games. You missed a couple of the best players in your roster. They didn't even touch the field. So shout out him for that. But Anthony Banda, you guys got to see the Mets legend. He's the only lefty. He's going to be available. Edgardo Henriquez is not going to be available. You guys saw how good that stuff is. He's going to miss probably the Wednesday game, but be back for Thursday. And they're probably not going to see those long men. So there's an opportunity where if you can crush Walker Buehler, and this is interesting because the same thing happened with the Padres series.
Yes.
Where they crushed Walker Buehler and Dave Roberts said, you have to give us 5 innings. I don't care what's happening on the field. You literally have to give us 5 innings because if you can't give us 5 innings, I don't know what we're going to do the next couple of days because we're going to have to do another bullpen day because the rest of this time at home, just to look ahead a little bit, thinking ahead, just because we're going to talk to you guys again after the next home game, of course. But you're going to see Yoshinobu Yamamoto the game after Walker Buehler. And then after that, there's nothing really set in stone. You probably wind up seeing Flaherty for the Friday night game. Yeah. But I think it depends on the bullpen. It depends if the Dodgers can win a game. Then they can want to be able to save Flaherty for a game at home. And the Mets also haven't announced Quintana for Game 4 either. We don't know what's going on with Kodai Senga. We don't know what's going on with Tyler McGill. We don't know what's going to happen past Luis Severino. This Game 3 is a massive inflection point for this series. Massive inflection point. You could take the lead with 2 games at home, 2 games to win the series. You could put the team their back up against the wall. And the main way to do that is to get to Walker Buehler early, put the ball out of the ballpark, and make this team start to fucking sweat.
Yes. Home runs, baby. Home runs is the name of the game. Mets hit home runs. Mets usually win the baseball game. That's how it rolls. That's how it goes. This is a good Mets baseball team like we told you yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever you're listening to this. Just because you didn't hit in one game doesn't mean you won't in the next one. Just because you got out in your previous at-bat doesn't mean you can't get a hit in the next one. And that just feels like the mentality that this team has had all year long. What happened in the past doesn't matter. We have an opportunity to make something right now in this exact moment, and the team has stepped up yet again. Let's fucking go Mets. Beat the Dodgers. They're coming into Citi Field. Let's get fucking feral for Feral Fall. Let's have a couple beers, slam some hot dogs, scream obscenities at the Dodgers, whatever it is. Let's get in their fucking heads. Let's win. Let's beat the Dodgers. I can't wait for this game. I'm so excited for Wednesday. Tuesday's, when you guys listen to this, going to be a great off day, though. Wow. Tired, exhausted.
Gonna take some deep breaths. Also, have to shout out Howie Rose for a lot of people who've been listening to Howie because of how pro Dodgers broadcast is. Got a note from someone today that he apparently is starting to make fun of the way that Fox is promoting Shohei Ohtani, where he'll shout out how many batters away Francisco Lindor is when he's coming up. Like, Francisco Lindor, 7 batters away. Keep an eye out, guys, for this one. But it is funny watching these Ohtani Fox broadcasts because I watched a lot of Ohtani when he was an Angel because I used to love watching him pitch and hit. I didn't watch as much Ohtani this year because just watching his at-bats, like sitting around waiting. Thank God they have the score bucks for that. Just, here's Shohei Ohtani's third at-bat of the game. Let's sit around and wait for that one. But it's so funny how often they show him and how much of a glaze fest it is, and shout out Derek Jeter too. Oh, the Mets can't rely on coming back in all these games. All right, Derek, fuck you. We just let 9 innings in the game, so everyone keep an eye out for that. Just get all the Mets
streak. What happened to that one?
Yeah, what happened to scoreless streak? And again, people were like, "Oh, all you could do is get through the first inning. It'll be the longest scoreless streak of postseason history." Francisco Lindor said, "Fuck you, first batter of the game." But just, I'm excited to be in Citi Field, and we've been in Murphy's for both the games, so it's been a very pro Mets environment. But I'm excited to be steeped in Mets'ness. I want to let the Mets'ness completely wash over me and just be so locked in with the people there and the family inside of Citi Field and do everything we want to be able to do.
Yeah, and we will see you guys there. If you're at the game, you know what to do. Reach out to us on Instagram.
We'll be there early.
Hit us up on Twitter. Grab a beer with us. Whatever you want to do, just come hang out, say hello. We usually hang out in center field or at the K corner before the game, whatever it's going to be. You'll be able to find us, and we hope to meet you guys. We want this place crazy. We want nuts. We have an opportunity again. Kill, kill, kill. I know it doesn't feel the same kill as the Phillies because there's a little more hate there, but kill the Dodgers. Let's kill them. This team has a reputation, and it's not a good one. Let's keep it going. Let's keep them winless. Let's make sure you get Dave Roberts fired. Let's do all this stuff. Let's get crazy, and let's take down the Dodgers at Citi Field. Let's fucking do it.
I have a shout out before we end the episode.
Hit us.
I want to shout out Heather Elizabeth, who DM'd us on Instagram.
Oh, yes.
She said, I wanted to ask you guys if you could shout out my mom, Joyce Allen. She is your biggest fan, does not miss an episode. She's currently watching you right now. It would make her day. Keep up the videos, guys. We all love you. Shout out Heather, and shout out you, Joyce Allen. Thank you so much for listening to us. We appreciate you more than you know.
Shout out Joyce Allen. Let's do it. Let's get a win for Joyce on Wednesday.
Big win for Joyce on Wednesday, but I think that's all we got here.
I think that's all we got. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. You know the drill. Follow us everywhere on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Mets'd. Subscribe to the Mets'd Podcast YouTube channel. Drop a like on there. Subscribe, all that good stuff. We do appreciate you. Shout out the comments. Shout out the Dodgers fans that came over and commented on the video. Salty Mets fans.
Come by in this one, guys.
Yeah, where are you at now? Come on, keep it going. Keep it up. I don't hear you. Quiet all of a sudden, Dodgers fans. Quiet. It's great. Love to see it. What else do I say here? Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google. Drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. You can follow James on Twitter at
James_Shiano. Also, shout out me and Mark for making it on the news.
Yes, we were on the news. CBS 2. I don't think anybody our age saw it, but shout out, we were on it.
And shout out Frankie Peppers for making a nice little quick emergency Italian sandwich when we need to get some big guys late in the game. That changed everything.
To have the wherewithal to know that you need to eat a sandwich at that time, I mean...
That's Frankie Peppers. He's a heavy player.
He's built different, man. He's built different. This team's nowhere without Frankie Peppers. Nowhere without you guys. Thank you so much. Giraffe Neck Mark on Twitter. And we will catch you after Game 3, Citi Field. Let's fucking go. Let's beat the Dodgers.
Let's fucking go, Mets. See you guys next time.